to the Wine O'Clock Report 2.0 is what I'm calling this because it's brand new. It's kind of my take on what the Wine O'Clock Report would be. Obviously, we're missing our character comedian, and he will definitely be missed, but I think we're gonna go forward. So I proposed a little earlier in the week a choice between a red wine from Italy or a white wine. I promise you I haven't been drinking any yet. Or a white wine from France. And the clear winner was a white wine from France. So I went and visited my favorite wine shop down the street called Guess Who. That's really what it's called, Guess Who. It's not really a guessing game. It's very obviously a liquor store. Anyway, so I picked up a bottle of Chateau Pilet Bordeaux, and it's a white Bordeaux. Bordeaux, a lot of people mistakenly think that that's a kind of a grape, and it isn't. It's a region in France where grapes are grown. And not only that, it's probably the most important region where grapes are grown because they pretty much set the modern standard for wine. And you know, you'll hear a lot of people get real excited when they start talking about Bordeaux wines, and it is exciting, but it also can translate into price. And so I got a moderately priced one. I'll be honest, I had not heard of this winery before, Chateau Pilet, but that's okay. What's interesting about it being a Bordeaux wine is Bordeaux wines typically are red blends. So they're blends of, and if Chris were here, he could tell you just off the cuff what the grape varietals that make up a red blend from Bordeaux are. And unfortunately, I am not that well studied, so I just know it's not a single kind of grape in that wine. So this is Chateau Pilet Bordeaux. It's from 2015. It's a little bit unusual in the United States to have a white wine that's quite that old, but the French know wine, so we're gonna trust them on this. I was looking up some tasting notes on this earlier, and it says a perfect balance between fruit and freshness, ideal to combine with fish and crustaceans. Now, if you were with me on the last episode, you know that I told you drink whatever you want with whatever you want. And I'm sticking with that. While indeed, this may go very well with fish and crustaceans, it may also go well with something else that you like to drink. So, let's take a look. I've got my Wine O'Clock logo glass again. This is, I would call that a straw color. Now, there's a whole realm of shades of white and shades of red. You can look them up on Pinterest. You can look them up with Uncle Google. Anyway, call it what you want. If you're with snobby wine people, you might want to learn a little of the buzzwords. For me, light yellow sounds good. I'm gonna go ahead and take a little taste. I filled this glass a little bit full. Normally, you'll want to fill it right to where the bend starts curving back up again. And the only reason that you want to do that is just to more enhance the aromas of the wine. You can fill it up to the rim if you want to, but you're going to kind of miss some of that sensation of really enjoying your wine. Just letting you know. So the swirling action that you see so many of these people doing in the high fine dining restaurants, it just kind of releases the fragrance. And it's a good thing to do, particularly if you are trying a wine that you're not so sure of, or maybe you think it's been in the bottle cellared a little too long, something like that. But for something this new, a white especially, meh, whatever you want. So, one thing that the French do really, really well with wine is they bring out the flavors. You could have a white blend from the United States, California, for example, or maybe one that's like just really inexpensive and it's not going to taste like much of anything. Or you'll find a lot of the different wineries kind of all taste sort of the same. And so when you hear people say things like, Sauvignon Blanc is my favorite wine, I won't drink anything but Sauvignon Blanc, they're probably missing out on some really nice flavors out there. So I would encourage you, if you like wine at all, to go ahead and try to expand your experiences with it a little bit, because yeah, you're gonna hit some wine that you don't like and you never have to drink it again, but you might find some ones that you really, really like. And when I taste this one, the first thing that strikes me is that it's got a little bit more complexity than most white wine does. And what that means is I get a flavor all the way through. So I'm tasting something when it first hits my tongue, while it rests in my mouth for a minute, and then, you know, as I swallow it, there's some flavor there for every little piece of my tongue, I guess you'd say. And that sounds kind of dirty, but it's the truth. And when we were talking about wine flavors here, folks. So, I am tasting, there's some sourness to it. The top note is a little bit sour. There's some melon, sort of like a honeydew or even cantaloupe-y melon, kind of a flavor, and when we talk about flavors, when we're talking about wines, we're not talking that the wine actually has those things in it. We're talking about kind of the impressions that you get from it. Kind of, you know, it's what the winemakers really want you to experience with their wine is that full top to bottom flavor. Kind of like, if you're familiar with fragrances, you've got the top note, the middle note, the low note. Well, the same thing goes with wine, only we're talking about flavors rather than a fragrance. Or it could be both. So, I'm enjoying this wine. Like I said, the French do a really good job. There's a story, and I'm not going to tell it here tonight, but there is a story about, you know, France. Everybody knows that France is famous for wine and food and all things that are very fine. Anyway, but there's a story that the French wine, all the vineyards, and I don't know the full story. I'm going to find out. I'm going to tell you the true deal. But what really happened was they almost lost all of their vineyards, and that would have been a major tragedy. But the legend is, and I'm also going to verify the truth of this rumor, is that a winemaker from Texas actually solved the problem and cured the wine. It was a parasite problem in France, and that saved the vineyards. So cheers to you, whose name I'm going to find for next week, because I can't think of it right now because I was not prepared. Anyway, cheers to y'all. So I promised you some vocabulary, and we talked a little bit about you know, flavors and whatnot, but I wanted to share with you a really cool vocabulary word. Hopefully everybody's ready. I know that, you know, we haven't been in elementary school in a while, but there's always words that we can learn, and today's word is, hold on a little closer, maybe not. It's enophile. O-E-N-O-P-H-I-L-E. And that's pronounced enophile. And what I really like about this, the way they've spelled it out, the pronunciation, is in Southern style. Enophile. Draw out those syllables as long as you can. And the definition of this word is a person who enjoys wines, usually as a connoisseur. So I'm going to go along with this first section, or the first phrase, a person who enjoys wines. I'm going to throw out the usually as a connoisseur, and I'll tell you why. It kind of goes along with the concept of drinking the wine that you want to drink because you like to drink it doesn't necessarily mean you're a connoisseur. Because when I think of a connoisseur, I don't think of me. I think of the sommeliers in the restaurants who have spent so much time studying about wine and learning about it so that they can teach you about it, help guide you to the right wines and things like that. To me, that's a connoisseur. And that's not me. I just like wines, and I like trying them, and I like sharing them with people. So if you like wine, don't be afraid to describe yourself as an enophile, because it really means you just enjoy the wine. So with that, I'm going to say cheers again. And I want you guys to all go out and enjoy at least one glass of wine tonight. And think of me while you're drinking it. And hopefully next week or the next time we get together, I'll have a guest, because apparently I need help with the Facebook Live. And we'll see how that goes. So I love you all. I appreciate all the support that you've given me. And hopefully I'll be seeing some of you guys in the near future. For those of you that I just see online, hi, stay in touch with me online, and we will see you next time. Thanks. Bye-bye.